Namaste, Jai Bharat. Dictators live in fear. Perhaps this is a universal phenomenon. If you look at the recent, very interesting development, though he is not really much of a dictator, I'm talking about Asim Munir of Pakistan, army man. Recently there was something when he had gone with his prime minister. It is very evident that he was wearing a bulletproof jacket under this suit, which was very visible because he must have stitched this suit to his fittings, and he might have wanted a tight fitting, not very loose fitting. If he had made a loose fitting suit, it must have not been that visible, but then probably he wanted to look more smart than what he really is, obviously. His bulletproof jacket was very jarringly visible. Just that came to my mind. So dictators do live in fear. China, that's my point. China was always notorious for its closed society. Though Karl Popper wrote that book, Open Societies and Its Enemies, not for China, but for the former Soviets, or in general against communism, China continues to be a closed society. Are they really communists? You know that. They have nothing to do really with communism, Marx or Marxism. They're using it for being dictatorship. The Chinese premier is not very visible every time. You don't know where he is and what he is doing. There's hardly any smile on his face. These are usual with such people. Of late in China, the news that comes from China of late is that their army, he has a trusted group of people with him who are supposed to run the things in his nation, and some people are sacked. Sacked in China would immediately mean missing. And what happens to them, where they have gone, there's no point in trying to understand because you can know. There was some shift of this. There was some shift of this structure, power structure, as it is told. The generals were put upside down. Someone was suddenly removed from the place. Somebody else was brought in. All the structural change, as they claim, happened because Xi Jinping has got positive information that some of his generals, army people, might try to overthrow him. And from China you cannot depend for any legitimate reports. You won't know anything what's happening there. Mostly what we get are rumors, and the other part, the media that we may depend, is absolutely one-sided, because each one in the social media would like to glorify his point and justify his points. Look at Pakistan, for instance. The Qamar Chima is a classical example. For whatever he's so desperate to justify Pakistan, he goes to the extent of saying that Pakistan is economically well off, this thing, that, etc. That's normal. Maybe that's his survival, or his survival depends on that. So you can't depend on any news regarding China, but these are speculations upon speculations. So there were some structural changes. Xi Jinping got scared that somebody would try to replace him. And there are very funny news that at night he had to flee the room where he was staying in. These things are very, very unconfirmed. People exaggerate and utterance create nothing out of the blue. Anyway, things in China are not as it appears to be. We don't know. The point is that their army is highly corrupt. That, of course, is not normal if it's a communist regime, because they cannot shift their money to other nations. So the army is highly corrupt. As a result, their constructions, and everyone takes commission. Everyone takes commission, and their quality of whatever they produce gets subdued. For example, suppose if they make a bridge, and if everybody takes money from the person who is supposed to build bridge for given amount of money, after giving all those things, this man will get nothing. To get that job, he has to pay. He has to make profit. So he would compromise on the quality and work. That's what we see in most of the Chinese products now. The roads now, their construction now, their aircraft now. And it's really amazing that some reports say that for inspection, they put some special missiles on the borders, and inside the missile there was no fuel. Fuels are expensive, so by not putting fuel, they put water. That money has been swindled. Then the quality of whatever they made so low that they could not open the covering. They must have kept it in a covered situation, the covering of missiles. So China is in a mess. You can see it, you can infer it from the kind of business that China runs. There was a time China was flourishing in business, no matter that it's with the companies outside China working there for cheap labor. They make a lot of profit. These companies who work there for cheap labor, also they. But this has the side effect of Chinese economy getting boosted. But these things are going to a standstill. So China is in for trouble. In some time, we will hear a different story of China. This is again because of the dictatorial arrogance and dictatorial short-sightedness. Let's see how things can turn out, but it may take years. 20 years it might take, but we'll see. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Siya Ram.